A soul and its the beloved, and the fair one and her soul. Of Shri Krishna, the Lord of Love, by Baba Premanand Bharati. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. A soul and its the beloved. A soul was all tired unto death, because love, which once glowed warm and red, had turned toward a face fairer and brighter than the one which encased it. Long it dwelt upon that departure, until the time had come when it was all ready to leave the earth. But there was the beloved soul which had gone from the right path. While contemplating on the possible way of calling unto itself the beloved soul that had gone astray in its blindness, death stood before it and called it to make ready for a long journey beyond the boundaries which it now knew. Glad and willing, the soul responded, but casting its eyes behind for one moment, it beheld its beloved mate walking in the mire in its search after the will-o'-the-wisp for which it had left its home, and the soul was grieved sorely unto death. One step backward it made, but death detained it, saying, "This way, sweet soul, you go wrong. See that golden path, there await you those who want you to be with them in parts beautiful and wonderful beyond that which you remember." "Oh," spake the soul, "what of her, my beloved? Where goes she?" "Alone the path she now treads she has chosen, and it is not in your power to draw her back 1 inch from that chosen path." "But, O death," quoth the soul, "the way before her is black and full of reptiles and evil creeping things, and she was so tender and beautiful. May I not change places with her, and will you not take her and leave me?" "It is not so written," quoth death. "Each soul chooses its own path, and she has chosen hers. When, O death, will she come to where you lead me?" "It is written, not for many aeons. How can I draw her to me to turn her from her dark way to myself?" "It is written that one soul may draw another after it, if for many births it is willing to wait at the door of death for all souls to pass. See, here it is where these wailing, fainting, quivering ones suffer agonies greater than you have ever dreamed of in the many walks of your earthly or space life." A moment the soul gazed on the suffering ones, and as it looked it grew cold and pinched, as if another death had come upon it. "I will wait," it said. "Joy will be to me to wait for aeons, until she whom I love will pass this way." "Oh," cried death, it was said among the unseen ones who throng space, that you were thus. "See, the pang of pain which you in agony bore has forced your beloved to turn and gaze towards you. She leaves her path of mud and darkness and hurries after you. Come on, both of you, and walk the path of gold that is thronged with such as you, the Savior and the saved. Surely in one moment of such love you have unfettered the bonds which bound yourself and your beloved to all that was of earth." And they passed into the way that led to the higher place. End of A Soul and Its Beloved. The fair one and her soul. The world had grown grey, the golden stars had fled from the skies, and a silence deep yawned at the feet of one who, all hungry for that which she knew not, and starved for that which she could not name, moaned, "O soul, why am I tortured thus? Why dost thou lead me into paths I cannot walk, and drag me into depths that I fear, and scale with me heights whose atmosphere so rare and high is, that faint I grow and ill unto perishing therein? What is the quest of thine, this struggle and this reaching after that which I cannot see or feel? Weak is my flesh, though thou, dear soul, art strong. It is ever easier for me to fall than to rise. I struggle to keep on with thee, but ever and anon thou mountest to plains where my tired and clumsy feet cannot follow thee. Oft times have I called unto thee, and implored thee to cease the quest, to rest awhile, to sleep. Thou hast heard my moan now and again, and I ran laughing into the garden that awaited me. But when I stood among the blood-red roses and white-cupped lilies, and sought to pluck the pretty blossoms, ever in the heart a worm did lurk. So farther I ran to where the fruits hung high, but when on tiptoe I stood to reach the luscious ripe ones that beckoned me, lo, again the over-softness of decay did break upon my gaze, and I wanted them not. Then I made to climb some steep hill whereon the clouds did seem to rest, and as I ascended the clouds did fade farther from me, and I stood with only the cold grey mist about me, chilled and frightened like a child lost from its mother's side. And so it was, O soul, the pleasures which the earth placed at my feet palled upon me and dragged me down nigh unto the grave. Then I nestled to thee, my beloved soul, and called thee to save and direct me, and pleaded to thee to save me from this fleshly self that keeps me earth-bound. Then thou wouldst take my hand and with me soar to mountain heights, and we with outstretched wings would view the rosy glow that the departing sun did cast about us as it waved its grand adieu to the world we knew. Thus we stood, I trembling with gladness, thou thrilling with joy. But, O soul, my poor fleshly self could not long abide such ecstasy, nor drink the rarefied wine which the heavens vouchsafed us, and crying I clung to thee and dragged thee down, down, until both again stood at the bottom of the heights, where lately we had spied the door that leads to broader worlds. Thou, my beloved, hadst folded thy wide-spread wings, and thy feet were planted in the dank grasses whose roots were deep in mire. O tell me, thou, whose awakening is so beautiful, and whose stature is full of grace, tell me, O soul, why, though coupled together, are we yet divided? Why, though one, are we yet two? The soul made answer meet, O companion of my earthly self's encasement of soft flesh. I love thee even as thou lovest me, and I do draw thee upward even as thou dost drag me down. Dost thou not know that from earth thou hast come, hence to earth must go again? That thy natural tendencies are downward even unto the earth from which thou didst spring? Yet dost thou love that in me which soars even upward to the home from whence I came? A ray of eternal light am I, a glow of the warmth of a spark of the central flame. Hence must I ever strive to reach that perfect sphere from whence I came, more beautiful and entrancing than thou canst know, nor can I anchored be until once again that safe haven I reach, wherefrom I lately came. Yet list, sweet partner of my earthly pilgrimage, dost know why thou lovest me, even though hither and thither I draw thee? 'Tis that I am born of love, and none can resist love, and the great tender earth, thy mother, is nourished by the great love which is the creator of thee and me. O fair and sweet companion, my earthly amour that I love, thou and I together may reach beyond where we stand reluctantly and defiantly. Gaze on me, thy soul, who giveth radiance to thee and beauty to thine eye, and dost attend all that is lovable unto thee. I gaze at me, and even that which is earthly will partake of me and become more of heaven than of earth. And so we will wander in joy through life, and who knows but that even the flowers may grow sweeter for our having dwelt there, if we but look upward, thou following me, and I, though loving thee much, yet yielding not to thy sweet persuasive pleadings, and downward looking, who knows but we may heal those who, even like thee, do cry out against the non-adjustment of the body and the soul, who even like thee have known soul hunger and soul starvation, which disease driveth out of the body all its softness and smoothness, and even casteth a shadow on the soul, which should never be shadowed, lest it loseth the sight of the home where light alone doth dwell, and love alone doth reign. The voice ceased, a great tenderness An unbounded beauty shone on the face of the fleshly one, and turning from the deep silence that rolled at her feet, the woman gave a glad look at the stars, which once again adorned her sky, and flitted away with a ringing laugh. The soul echoed her joy, and the world looked on amazed, for naught is there as rare in life as a happy, joyous woman. End of A Soul and Its Beloved, and the Fair One and Her Soul. End of Shri Krishna, the Lord of Love, by Baba Premanand Bharati.